Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 7 of the F1 Manager 24 My Team Career Mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at the iconic Imola circuit. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live on Saturday, I believe it was, from Miami, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. We've survived the double sprint weekend that obviously occurs early on in the season, and now we obviously head back into Europe, and hopefully we can try and get some big results under our belt. Of course, cash is still looking incredibly tight early on this season. We've got less than $1.7 million within the team. I have been looking around recently, just trying to kind of see how we're getting on in terms of the budget and things like that. Now, it looks like, obviously, we've spent $73 million so far this year. Obviously, we started the game with pretty much 75%, and cost cap-wise, we're looking like we should stay well under that projection, though, at the moment. Admittedly, that is probably quite an inaccurate reading so far, because according to this, we've spent $72 million on car facilities as well there. So what you can actually do inside F1 Manager is actually go way under the cost cap, and then you normally get sacked. So I'm trying not to do that over the course of this season. I'm trying to make sure that we remain in budget, and you know, maybe that means obviously down the line other teams are going to be interested in our services as well there. But yeah, of course, last time out in Miami, unfortunately Liam Lawson, his just overall mentality at the moment is completely in the bin. So we need to try and do something, anything we possibly can, to try and, you know, build up his confidence once again. And apparently at the moment, he wants the car performance to get upped as well there. That's going to be a little bit difficult, because, yeah, we really don't have much money as well. So at the moment, we're kind of just trying to hang around and, you know, wait and see whether slowly he can build up you know, a little bit more kind of potential as well within the team. Now, we did, of course, actually go about and scout Dennis Hauger, wasn't it, a couple of rounds ago. So I want to go back to Dennis Hauger and kind of obviously sort of see whether he's open to a contract. Now, of course, he would be a junior driver within the team. So, yeah, he would have to be an affiliate there. And I want to try and give him you know, a little bit of time to continue developing inside Formula 2. He's actually a driver that I really hyped up when he made the switch from F3 to F2. So I'm kind of hoping he can do a little bit better on as well down the line. So we're going to offer him $600,000, not a bad salary, to be competing in Formula 2. $60,000 signing on bonus, and hopefully he is going to like that. Now, one thing I do like as well on this year's game is that it actually gives you an idea now as to whether, you know, the driver is likely to be interested. Of course, you know, on previous games, you've kind of gone out and thrown numbers into the sky and hope the driver's go and accept. As Hauger is not going to confirm anything just yet. So he's got 28 days to decide whether he's happy or not with the offer that we have given him there. Taking a look at the car as well. We've got to try and get a couple of front wings built up. We actually need to desperately develop a few more parts as well. And obviously side pods as well. We want to try and manufacture a couple of those. I believe we have got a few engineers waiting as well to do some stuff. So we can only afford to do 2 of the side pods as well there. Otherwise, yeah, money is just so tight at this stage of the campaign. Powertrain-wise as well, we need to try and get a new ERS pack on to the car as well this weekend. So hopefully Yuki's going to be able to push on. And I think Liam Lawson, though, on the other side of the garage, actually pretty happy with how things are looking right now. So money is running really tight at this stage of the campaign. We desperately need to try and bring in some new sponsors as well onto the team in the near future. Board confidence, though, they're a little bit disappointed with how we've been getting on so far in the races. Only Melbourne and Jeddah have kind of been the 2 highlights so far of the campaign. But yeah, desperately in need of some extra sponsorship cash. Is that something we can do here as well? I don't believe it is, obviously we're upgrading the wind tunnel as well, so that should hopefully give us a little bit more in the near future as well there. So lots going on behind the scenes as well. There's apparently a bit of driver tension as well between Matos and TSUNODA, which we did respond to last time round. So I don't think the tension between TSUNODA and Matos has improved at all. I think the situation is more likely to resolve itself naturally. So what we can do now is wait. I will let you know when the two seem to get along again there. So, yeah, that's okay. We'll acknowledge that and we'll confirm and continue on. So, hopefully, as we get a few more bits and pieces sorted there, wind tunnel level 3 upgrade has been complete. And the new suspension as well has been sorted there. We haven't got any engineers, though, by the looks of it. So, we can't really do anything with that. Unfortunately, yeah, we're actually upgrading some of the old parts on the car, so we may as well keep those spares. We'll get that on the car ready for next time out, as I believe after Imola, of course, we head to Monaco. But yeah, I think we're in for maybe another tougher weekend. We'll have to wait and see as to how this place suits the car.
Welcome along to Italy, and welcome along to Imola. Just outside Bologna in northern Italy, Imola hosts the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, named after the region it sits in. Surrounded by woodland, this iconic track is rich with Formula One history and the legends of those who raced here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Formula One.
Well, here we are then, back at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix circuit, hopefully for a slightly better weekend, of course, where we have only got the one Grand Prix. You know, it gives us a bit more time to fine-tune everything, build up the driver confidence, and everything like that. Now, obviously, we know Imola is quite a high downforce circuit, but overtaking down that straight is going to be really, really we have to be able to do that as well around this venue. I'm also going to remember to up Yuki's run length up to 18 laps there. Lawson should be able to get away with 15 still, but of course, as always, yeah, we'll try some different numbers with him. We'll go really, really aggressive on the front wing settings, and obviously we'll make sure that we try and tweak everything else as well there. So hopefully the drivers are going to be happy, and obviously we can try and figure everything out as we head into Q1. It has been really difficult recently, but, you know, the drivers, no new upgrades on the car this weekend, so hopefully, obviously, you know, they're immediately going to come out with a bit more kind of confidence as to the baseline car underneath them, so hopefully we can kind of use that and focus on building up confidence within the team as well there. Isaac Hajar again. Surely he's going to get that Red Bull seat soon if he keeps driving that second car every single FP1. Other rookies, we've got junior drivers, Ollie Behrman down at Ferrari, Colapinto's back in the Williams car, and I believe, yeah, Jack Crawford as well down at Aston Martin. So a few, kind of familiar faces, but not currently yet in a Formula 1 drive there. And obviously, I quite like to, take a little bit of focus on them, kind of see what they're doing and everything like that. Now, it looks like this weekend, once again, is meant to remain fully dry. Obviously, we've seen in real life, Imola can be kind of one extreme or the other from time to time as well. So hopefully, yeah, that's going to be good for us. And, this weekend as well, it is all about building confidence. As Liam Lawson there, just making a small error. Let's take a look at what that was.
Right, let's pick this up as we go into turn 14.
Well, I'd rather he does this in free practice than in the race.
Locks up, and they'll need to be mindful of the effect that had on the tyres.
Yeah, a little bit of lawn mowing early on in the weekend there. Hopefully, that isn't going to knock Liam's confidence too far back either. Of course, yeah, you don't really get like the full confidence ability here in free practice then. But yeah, TSUNODA, they're not too far between them. I'd love to get both cars into Q2 for the first time in a long old while here, because obviously recently we've just seemed to have bad luck with one car or the other, which has been rather frustrating as well. But yeah, the setup slowly going on. Oh, Magnussen, that's quite impressive. Ruins a set of tyres, 20 minutes into free practice. Just over the curb there, and you can see, yeah, Magnussen, a set of hard compound tyres immediately going to waste. Don't quite know yet whether they'll be very useful as we get through the rest of the weekend there. But how is Lawson with the car? He's seemingly quite happy with a few bits and pieces so far. We're going to try and opt for a bit more of an extreme front wing setup there and try and get everything else dialed in. So we'll try like that then. It's going to hopefully give him some different numbers. And we'll kind of see how it goes. And hopefully now as well, Yuki is going to be able to get all of the possible feedback we need. Shame it's not good feedback so far. Not happy with the car. But we'll get him back into the pit lane then as well. Yuki Tsunoda, he doesn't just kind of come back calmly and give you any feedback. He just immediately jumps to complete aggression and anger with the team as well. Which is admittedly is quite funny. But it's still a little bit weird inside this game there. We'll try again, tweak his setup around. You know, it is all about just trying to gather data here through free practice. But at least this weekend, you know, we can actually gather all of the data that we want as well, which I guess is good. Once we get both drivers as well up to 100% confidence with the car, that should hopefully mean that, you know, we can get a little bit more data a little bit quicker. It's not looking good, is it, for Liam Lawson? It is really not looking good for Liam Lawson right now. He's made a mistake down at the chicane again. I mean, look, this is just all... I'm not worried about him actually making the mistake. It's just about his confidence within the team. I mean, luckily he didn't hit the wing or anything like that. Because, of course, we haven't got many of those as we head into this weekend. But, yeah, it is just, again, continuing just to pile on the pressure on him. You know, the pressure that he's really putting on himself early on this season as well there. But, yeah, both drivers heading back out. So we'll wait and see as to what they feel now about the car. Well, again, Liam making his way back to the pit lane then as the tyres are absolutely destroyed on that first car. Yuki as well. I mean, he's obviously done a little bit better where he hasn't gone for a spin or anything like that. But yeah, Lawson making his way back into the pit lane then. So we'll kind of wait and see as to how he's feeling. I must admit, I know I've said it before, but I do just love the fact that the AI just drive into the pit box there. As Imola, yeah, a very, very tight and old traditional pit lane. That's a lot better. Lawson getting dialed in with the car, building up confidence with it. Obviously, we've got to make sure we keep that braking stability right where it is. But again, we'll just tweak a few of the bits and pieces as well there. So, yeah, Lawson seemingly quite happy with that. We'll give it one little click back that way. Obviously, we want to try and make sure that everything else is within the parameters as well there. But I think, yeah, as we get him ready for qualifying there, he's going to be pretty happy with that car. We'll opt for a bit of a glory run then, end of the session on those soft compounded tyres, and hopefully as well we're going to get similar feedback from TSUNODA in the other car. They do like their setups to be slightly different to each other, as Yuki still not happy. Okay, yeah, I think we'll bring it back in. We'll see what he wants. See what he wants tweaking. Yeah, we're just slightly out with a lot of the numbers still. Definitely running too low wing. But hopefully we'll be able to bring that back in. Braking stability, we'll get that reined in as well. And, of course, the traction as well there. So that should hopefully give Yuki something he's a bit more happy with. We'll, again, opt him for a set of soft compound tyres as well. There is not long left of free practice. It really has taken quite a while to dial in the car. So we're starting to see a lot of other drivers able to improve there. So hopefully Lawson now on the softs is going to be able to go out for a bit of a more aggressive run. In fact, you know what? We're going to try and go all out with him here. We'll go full deployment for one lap for a glory run here for Liam Lawson that will hopefully elevate his way up the order. And hopefully will mean as we head into the rest of the weekend, he is going to be confident there. P7. That's a good time by Liam Lawson there. Less than a second off the top cars. And yeah, there's no real point doing the same with Yuki. He's pretty happy. So I guess I'll see you guys as we move into qualifying.
We're moving on now to the all-important qualifying session.
Drivers need to get into Q3 if they want to make the top half of the grid. With only 10 slots available, it's a fight nobody wants to lose.
Karun, there's Yuki Tsunoda. How would you describe things for him at the moment?
Neither of the team's drivers have brought home many points so far, so they'll be looking to change that as soon as possible to prove their worth on track.
Buckle up then, folks. It's almost time for qualifying.
Well, I feel like had we been able to keep our Australia point, obviously the Yuki got for the team, maybe momentum would have slightly shifted earlier on this season. Maybe there'd be a little less pressure on both of the drivers as well. Verstappen ended up fastest in free practice. You can see TSUNODA actually down in P14. He's got a grid penalty. What on earth has TSUNODA done to get himself a grid penalty then? I got no idea. I can't see anything. Is it like a race director or anything? I would assume it's in reports. Post-practice report overview? How on earth has TSUNODA picked himself up a penalty here? Unless it was putting in new components in the car. I don't really know. So I guess we need to put focus then on what Lawson's doing. There's no way of seeing what on earth he's done there, which is a little bit peculiar. But he's definitely got a grid penalty. Setups both drivers pretty happy with. We've pretty much got him exactly where we need him to be. We'll just try and make a couple of little tweaks as well. You can see optimal scores around the grid. So we'll try. Yeah, I'm not going to alter anything anymore, I think, to be honest. We'll leave him where he is. Lawson as well, even happy with his car setup. So that's pretty good going. Just lacking a little bit of cornering confidence there. But you can see, yeah, everything else, he's pretty happy. So, yeah, let's move on then into Q1. Like we said, the goal, first of all, get both drivers straight through and into Q2 then. So, I really only want to do 2 runs, of course. We want to make sure that we save some tyres ready for the race. As always, we'll double check. There is no chance of rain or anything like that here early on in the session. So, we'll get both cars back out on the road. And we'll make sure that hopefully they're not going to fall out into too much traffic either then. It's all TSUNODA, sorry, making his way out onto his first lap. You can see there are Williams getting out of the way quite nicely. That should hopefully be the only car he's got to deal with there. Look at that, Max Verstappen near enough 5 seconds clear of what we saw him do in the final free practice session earlier on. 23.8 for Yuki in Sector 1. And we are going to see what times Lawson's going to be able to do their 23.8 as well then. You know, as much as I want to see both drivers get into Q2, obviously if Yuki has got grid penalties, then of course the one we really want to see have a good session here has got to be Liam Lawson. As, yeah, we're starting to see a few cars getting a bit better at moving out of the way inside this game as well there. Yuki Tsunoda, what's that, 25.6 middle sector. Liam Lawson hopefully isn't going to have to deal with too much traffic either. 25.6 as well, so looking very, very good at the moment. As hopefully the Williams is going to get out of the way as well, just in front. So, yeah, AI seem to be doing a lot better here at Imola than they were last time out in Miami in terms of getting out of the way there. As TSUNODA immediately goes P4, less than a tenth away from Alex Albon in the Williams. And Liam Lawson hopefully is going to do a pretty similar time. He's less than a tenth off in Sector 1 and Sector 2. So he is going to go into P5 then, 0.02 of a second away at the end of the first runs. That's a big improvement. That's exactly what we need to see. Tell you what then, grip level's still on the rise here as we come towards the end of the first session. I've brought out the cars probably a little closer to each other than I really wanted to. But ultimately, yeah, we're looking pretty safe right now as we head into Q2 then. P12 and P13. I think would be one of our best joint efforts we've seen so far this year. Obviously, yeah, we haven't really kind of had, you know, a George Russell disaster class. Alonso, though, I think is, yeah, way down the order, down in P21. But apart from that, I mean, we're sensibly, I think, quicker than pretty much all the cars we would hope to be. V-Carb are kind of the only unknown here. They've often been really racy. But so far this weekend seem to be struggling just a little bit more there. TSUNODA able to improve, 23.7 Sector 1. Lawson at 24.0 there, so maybe just costing himself a little bit of time tucked up in the dirty air. And I'm hoping, obviously, we'll find the time as the lap unfolds. As luckily, yeah, both drivers close enough to each other that seemingly most of the AI wanting to get out of the way of both of them in one go. Yuki Tsunoda Sector 2 split again improving. Liam Lawson there again not improving. So Yuki just gearing up, finding a little bit more time here as we come towards the end of Q2 as that Red Bull is just like going to stay out of the way. But I think we should be pretty safely through there. Ricardo often has been a threat for Q3. He's going to be out in Q1. The same can be said for Pierre Gasly there. And I believe, yeah, Esteban Ocon right at the rear of the field. So I think mathematically now we've guaranteed at least one car is through. TSUNODA unable to improve. Lawson unable to improve. So that second run was a bit of a waste of time. But we do get both cars through. And there we go then, for the first time, I think, yeah, since Albert Park, Australia, both drivers into the second session. Verstappen just under 2/10 clear of Lando Norris at the top of the board. Perez ahead of Oscar Piastri as well there. But as always, you know, your big five team seems to be the one with a bit of a buffer over everybody else. They're half a second between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Hulkenberg. But admittedly, yeah, we are right in that fight, though, here in Q2. Both V-Carbs, though, going to have to go back to the drawing board. They've often been the threat for Q3. Neither car seeing Q2 here at their home race. Well, like I've said then, more of the pressure this season does seem to be on Liam Lawson early on, and hopefully this weekend as well, obviously, especially with Yuki taking some grid drops, then hopefully we're going to be able to see the young Kiwi there get back up to some good pace. You know, he had some decent qualifying efforts in recent weekends. He just ultimately hasn't quite had enough that has really kind of showcased himself, you know, his full potential. I do believe, you know, he's a very, very quick Formula 1 driver on his day, and I think, you know, he's absolutely got the potential to deliver big results as well. There's 23-8, 25-7 first two sectors. That's looking pretty good. He's actually gone quicker than Yuki so far on this run. And of course, yeah, if we need to sacrifice one of the drivers, then hopefully that is going to be TSUNODA. He's put 0.8 of a second on Alex Albon here as well. So hopefully we're going to see Liam go between him and George Russell up towards the line. There we go, exactly what we hoped for there. 1.2 seconds away from the Mercedes. But I sent both drivers out on their old set of tyres from Q1. They've obviously got a little bit of wear in them, but that's a pretty competitive time. Well, grip levels then are at a premium here as we get to the end of Q2. This time around, we'll sit with Yuki Tsunoda. As you can see, Albon and Hulkenberg have really set some good benchmarks there. Magnussen, 1,000th of a second behind Liam here, but I'm hoping he can get a bit closer to that Haas car at the top of the knockout zone there. Like I said, you know, that 6/10 gap that we saw in Q1 looks to be sticking around here as we head into Q2. Again, you know, unless you're V-Carb on a really good weekend, I don't really think we're able to do anything to fight further up the order there. But Yuki, again, just finding a couple of extra tenths through the first sector. Like I said, if we can end up like P11 and P12 come the end of the qualifying pace, I would be really, really happy with that. What is Lawson able to do in the other car? 23.7, so slightly down on Yuki this time, but still able to find some time as well there. You know, really, we just want to make sure that we've got two cars that can hassle Albon and Hulkenberg. You know, maybe we can split the strategies as we head into the rest of the weekend. There is a little bit of lap traffic in the way. That is going to be one of the McLarens then, as Yuki Tsunoda makes his way down into the final sector. 25.5 as well, middle split time here. So this is looking like a really good improvement so far from Yuki. He needs to find about a second, though, on his previous lap time, but I think we could be close to that. As he gets towards the start-finish line then, Yuki Tsunoda goes P12, a 10th behind Nico Hulkenberg in the end. Liam Lawson there, looking pretty competitive as well, come the end of the second split time, 23.7, 25.5. Of course, we're not going to see Q3, but if we could get both cars clear of Albon, that would be really, really good. A 14.8, though. He will improve, but he stays just behind Alex Albon. It is P12 and P14 on the grid. Honestly, I think we can be pretty happy with that.
Not long until we get going here in Italy, with 63 laps of hard-fought motor racing.
Imola can really reward consistency, as Nigel Mansell showed here in 1992 when he became the first driver to ever win the opening 5 Grand Prix of a season.
This is an old-school track with plenty of elevation changes and lots of corners. There's only one DRS zone here though, and it follows the long straight right before Tamburello and should see plenty of action. The teams are making their final preparations down in the pit lane, ahead of today's race.
Well, every time I see it, I'm still slightly confused by Yuki Tsunoda being about 6'3" in this game, but I guess that is what it is at the end of the day. We get the same in F124 as well, so I don't think, we can complain all too much there. Taking a look at our final qualifying times, Verstappen took the pole there, but Ferrari actually seemingly in the fight this weekend. The Carlos Sainz on the front row ahead of both McLarens. Yuki, like we said, P12, but I don't know how many grid penalties he's got. But either way, he's going to be starting a little bit further down the order. And in terms of strategy, then, it looks like the team are expecting a one-stop. It is very difficult to overtake here. I'm not convinced that that's going to be the way we want to go. It's a 10-place grid penalty for Yuki. So that's a little bit of a shame as well there. The team do want a one-stop, though. So I think we'll do that with Yuki's car. But with Liam, we're going to try and go aggressive with a 2-stop strategy there. So soft compound tyres for the start. We'll then bolt on a set of mediums. And then we'll try and go back to softs towards the end of the afternoon. We'll go very, very aggressive at the start. We'll then try and make sure, obviously, that we keep that middle set of tyres working rather nicely as well. There we'll say, it's a 63-lap Grand Prix. We'll try and go 20 laps on Why are those soft tyres absolutely wrecked? Those soft tyres, he reckons... Oh, it's because obviously they're going to be going full attack mode, isn't he? So we'll try and go, yeah, 20 laps on the softs, and then 24, 25 on the mediums before another 20-lap blast towards the end of the afternoon. The team actually not expecting those soft compound tyres to last as well as we're hoping for, so it's going to be a bit of a gamble here with Liam Lawson today, but that is exactly what we've got to try and do here. You know, we're starting, you know, we haven't quite got a car that's competitive still. We've got to try and go really aggressive early on in the race. There is full attack mode, full battery usage as well, and full overtake mode for Liam. And Yuki, though, of course, trying to stay out of trouble early on. We're just going to try and keep him pretty neutral here, and maybe he can get through some slower cars. Let's do it, though. It's time for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix.
Final checks are being carried out by the teams, and it won't be long until we get this race underway. This could be an important race today for Lance Stroll.
They find themselves starting in P7 and eyeing up a handful of points.
This should certainly be a good one, folks. The crowd are on their feet in anticipation of this, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
There we go. Hopefully we can get a nice, clean, tidy start with both drivers there. Of course, the one we actually want to be watching for is going to be Liam Lawson making his way down in towards turn 1. Not sure why he's on... Oh, we never saved the strategy, did we? I'm such a moron. I'm such an apocalyptic dingleberry there. I mean, he's still going to make a place down at turn 1, where I ideally want to try and get to the front of kind of the backmarker group, if you will. And that was a really, really stupid error to make there. His confidence high immediately with Liam, so this is going to hopefully be a good opportunity this weekend to try and make something happen there. He's already trying to look down the inside of the Hulk down at Tosa. Not able to make anything happen early on there. As Yuki still right at the rear of the field. But he is starting to try and make a little bit of placing there. There's Esteban Ocon still carrying that damage from the start of the year. Not looking too good for him early. Hulkenberg, though, we know he's going to try and hang with Lewis Hamilton as well off the start of the race. Looks like most drivers opting for the medium compounded tyre there. Hulkenberg on the softs, Sargent on the softs. And Esteban Ocon. So that would explain why Yuki hasn't been able to make the move early on in this stint there. But tyres now getting up to temperature. As Hulkenberg, we can already see applying pressure to Lewis Hamilton in front. We could do with these two battling out early on, as Hamilton already dropping away from his teammate George Russell then. So that's really, really critical here early on in the race. For Lawson as well, though, it is so, so key that he hangs close to these two. Doesn't let Alex Albon, really bully him too much early on, utilising that straight line speed that the Williams, of course, is known for. And I think, yeah, we should hopefully now be able to sit in there as just trying to bring everything back down into line. Yeah, it's going to be one of those weekends, I feel, where Yuki Tsunoda is potentially going to be under a lot more pressure there, as Hulkenberg now making the move on Lewis Hamilton just in front. So that is really, really critical here, that obviously we try and stick close to these two and make sure that obviously we get the DRS as well there, as that doesn't seem to be what's happening. Hulkenberg already trying to pull away. He's going to utilise those soft compound tyres as best as he can early on in the afternoon there. So it might be that we're the one on the defensive drive a little bit further back. Obviously, we know Hulkenberg, his tyres are going to get absolutely shredded here early on. Already down at 86% wear. But yeah, Yuki Tsunoda on the other hand, that 96 still on those mediums. On those hard tyres. So Yuki's really, just going to be kind of that driver that hopes for a well-timed safety car or something like that that can boost him back up the order. Lawson is going to be a driver that waits to see whether Alex Albon is immediately going to be able to try and make a move happen there. As back down in towards turn 1. You can see the Williams gaining. He thinks about having a look. He doesn't actually hit him. I don't know how he didn't hit him. Alex Albon there will live to fight another day. And yeah, this is not a weekend where Lawson needs to deal with any more drama than he absolutely has to. But I guess, we kind of wait and see as to what Hulkenberg can do early on in this race then. Like we said, that soft compound tyre on that car, it won't last very long here. So it's critical for him to utilises the DRS from that car in front of him.
That's not what they need right now.
Don't want to use the exit curb, apparently. If you're in that Williams there, Logan Sargent really struggling early on in the race is, yeah, TSUNODA, he's just sitting in. He's watching the back of Esteban Ocon here. He knows this race is going to have to come to him a bit later on in the day, as you can see at the front of the field. Carlos Sainz now moving to the lead of the Grand Prix with Ferrari. And Charles Leclerc there, I believe, as well, making a move on Sergio Perez a little bit further hand. As you can see, Hulkenberg closing in on Hamilton once more. Albon trying to have a look this time around for a move down the inside of Lawson at turn 1. And I think we'll just sit in there. We'll let him make the move. We'll just keep Liam out of trouble here as well early on in the race. Bottas and Kick Sauber seem to have kicked on a bit as well in recent races, if you'll pardon the pun. So they might actually be a bit more of a threat over the coming rounds as well. But if we can just sit in behind Albon, that'll be pretty good for us. He's trying to gain once again on Albon down towards turn 1. I mean, all the action this afternoon will be into that first corner. But, whoa, Bottas there down the inside, seemingly out of nowhere through turn 1. So, very, very critical move coming in early on by the Sauber driver. We just want to try and stay out of trouble. That's, you know, kind of everybody else is going uber aggressive here. You know, do we kind of have to match that energy? Or do we kind of just sit in and kind of let's see things how pan out? I think we're going to have to just sit in for now. There is actually tyre wear a little bit higher still on Liam Lawson than we'd ideally like. He's not so good at nursing those tyres like we've seen from others early on. You know, still a rookie, of course, still learning the tricks of the trade and everything he needs to do as well. There's cycling fast lap of the day, trying to pull away from Verstappen, but that's not happening right now. Yeah, annoyingly, looks like Albon and Bottas as well, just trying to pull away a little bit from Liam Lawson here. So we're just going to try and get him just to attack a little bit more there with Kevin Magnussen now making the move as well. So Lawson once again just struggling a little bit here. I'm hoping this isn't going to be a circuit where perhaps the race pace is lacking relative to the qualifying trim. But we obviously, whenever we got a chance to build up some confidence, that's what we got to do. So this time around, we're going to try and see if we can make the move happen once again on Magnussen back in towards turn 1. Not quite close enough that time round. And again, yeah, all it does is just rock his confidence ever so slightly. I'm tempted to try and bolt on Liam onto an aggressive two-stop strategy here. And I think that's what we're going to try and do. Maybe get him out of trouble onto a set of the hard compound tyre. Not going to do it just yet. But certainly over the next couple of laps, we're going to try and go for it there. So yeah, we're just going to cook this set of tyres. We're going to try and go a little... We don't really want to go too aggressive on the fuel, but I guess we've got a little bit to burn early on in this race now. Yeah, Hulkenberg has absolutely dropped away from the top 10. So I guess, yeah, that fight, you know, unless we get some chaos later on, is going to be really, really difficult to manage here. So I think what we do with Liam is get him to about lap 15 on these tyres. As you can see, he's going to lose a place now to Daniel Ricciardo down at the final couple of turns. So maybe just struggling a bit with tyre temperature as well. It's just not looking good for it. He just really lacks confidence. So when it rains, it pours for Liam Lawson so far this year. So I'm going to box him in very soon. We're going to go to another set of the medium compound tyre. I believe we've got another set. Oh, we haven't even got another set of those available. We'll have to go softs then with him and then try to take the hard tyres to the end of the afternoon. All I'm really hoping for is that we can undercut this kind of gaggle of cars. Maybe get a bit close to Hulkenberg once again and kind of utilise that. Get him out of trouble here and get him kind of happy and confident with his own pace inside this Grand Prix. I mean, yeah, he's just dropping away from the other cars now. Down into P17 then of the race. So it is really not looking like Liam Lawson's afternoon so far. It might even be that TSUNODA gets past him pretty quickly as well here. So lap 13, we're going to go for it. We're going to take him onto a set of the soft compounded tyre. And we're going to confirm the pit window in there. As yeah, you can see Yuki a little bit further behind. Able to make up some places here as Lawson is just lacking that pace against those other cars there. So into the pits we're going to go at the end of this lap. Hopefully he can try and get a nice, clean, tidy pit stop as well there. But yeah, from the medium tyre though, he's going to be one of the first cars into the... He's actually going to be the first car into the pit lane in this race. Hulkenberg seems to have been dropping back there. Albon as well seems to be struggling in that Williams. So we aren't the only one that is really going backwards here. Pit stops as well have been really good recently, so hopefully we can try and capitalise on that and get a nice, clean, tidy stop. But already Lawson, yeah, almost going a lap down in this Grand Prix. I'm expecting this to end up 1, maybe 2 laps down this afternoon. That's a 2.5 second stop. That's pretty good. We'll take that quite happily there. And hopefully, yeah, Lawson now is going to be able to kick on a little bit more, get these tyres through to a pretty good point. And obviously, yeah, I think we should immediately go top of the board there on the fastest lap award. Sorry, the fastest pit stop award, because of course, yeah, we are the only driver so far that has made that commitment then. So we're going to monitor Lawson's gap to those cars in front of him over the next couple. And I guess it gives us a little bit of a chance to try and focus on with Yuki as well here. The hard tyres working beautifully for him early on in this race. He's kind of in a good little window, actually, pulling away from Pierre Gasly behind, as Hulkenberg then is going to listen to obviously what we've done with Lawson, and he's going to make his way out of the pit lane as well there. So now we've got those tyres up to temperature. We're just going to bring it back down into standard mode then, as you can see TSUNODA just kind of sitting pretty in that little gap that he's got. Sargent now as well is going to go behind, I believe. Yeah, what is going on there? Which car is that? It is Logan Sargent then, so he's had a real disaster. He's actually come out a long way behind even Liam Lawson in this race. Because see, Lawson now only 8 seconds behind the Hulk. So he's doing pretty well, actually, on this second set of the tyres there. As, yeah, everyone just in a bit of no man's land. Just want to make sure he does everything that he can to make sure he doesn't go a lap down here early on relative to Verstappen. Because that could really, really compromise us over the next few laps. So we'll go back aggressive with him then on the tyres just a little bit more here. Make sure that we keep Verstappen at bay. We'll even use a bit of deploy then as well. We'll actually do the same with TSUNODA here. Just because you may as well, you either use it or lose it, I guess. And, you know, we may as well try and go for the attack to try and keep the Dutchman a little bit further back there as well. How is TSUNODA getting on? Tyres are actually looking the best of anybody in the field right now. So he's closed in on Alex Albon as well, though, which is really, really good actually at this stage, because it means we can use a little bit of the overtake as well and try and carve our way through. Lawson should be able to go lap 30, so it's kind of just working out how well these tyres can go. Is making the move then on Alex Albon here. Hopefully we're going to be able to try and find a way around Magnussen as well. Back down towards turn 1. We will tell him to go aggressive on the overtakes. Yeah, Yuki Tsunoda has actually worked out really, really nicely for him early on, as Magnussen diving into the pit lane as well. So clearly too worried to defend from Yuki there. But confidence high with the Japanese driver. Same can't be said for Liam there. And I think it really does make quite the difference in the races as well inside this game. As you can see Lawson there just dropping back still a little bit. He's not too under pressure from Verstappen just yet. I do want him to try and not let the Dutchman by if we can get away with it there, which he won't again down at turn 1. Verstappen is reporting issues though, and yeah, immediately then Lawson is going to have to drop back in behind him. And he's going to try and stay out of trouble over the next few laps there. But yeah, the Yuki's doing really, really well early on in this race. We might just be able to get inside the range of Miata as well, just in front. So if we can get him sort of lap 30, lap 35 here, and then you can obviously take those mediums to the end of the afternoon. It is looking like a horrible, horrible one-stop for a lot of other cars as well, though. So it might be for TSUNODA, actually. That if he's able to make this strategy work, then he's going to be in a really, really good spot. But if he's not, actually, he's going to have a bit of extra confidence there. He's not going to have to worry about it too much, as Lawson now just going to have to deal with the RNG of the lap traffic. Magnussen there, though, actually quite a few seconds back. So this undercut with Lawson is actually working out really, really nicely as well in this race. No, it's not. He's immediately just been jumped as well. How? Lawson there hanging around. Oh, you just see so many cars in the way. And it's going to be a really easy one, isn't it, for Kevin Magnussen? Because Lawson there letting 3 cars through in one go. And he's absolutely going to trip himself over there as well. Norris reported mechanical faults, so issues as well, yeah, for Norris and Verstappen at the front of the field. So Charles Leclerc now moving up into P2 then of this Grand Prix as well. So we've got a bit of a battle going on in front. It is both V-Carbs versus Valtteri Bottas here. So hopefully we're going to be able to get our overtaking shoes on. I think they're all still on their first set of mediums, aren't they? So Miata as well has gone the same way as Yuki. So we're going to try and get him on the aggression then here. And it looks like still that it is going to be TSUNODA that is going to be our more confident driver here. The one that can hopefully deliver as the afternoon goes on then. As maybe we'll try and go for a move on Ricciardo pretty soon. Got a little bit of rich revs as well still left in the tank. Are we going to see any of these other cars into the pit lane then? It's, yeah, Albon there just starting to get back in the fight. There we go. TSUNODA goes around the outside of Miata. So we can try and push up then onto Ricciardo and Valtteri Bottas as well then, as Lando Norris, one of the first front runners into the pit lane. As you can see, Miata, though, not wanting to give up on it. Back to the inside of TSUNODA in towards turn 1. Oh, they're going to go side by side into that first corner. I think, though, Miata just about going to hold on and will make that move once again there. So these three really tripping over each other at this stage of the race. Ricciardo now moves to the front of this group as well. But clearly, the medium compounded tyres can actually go pretty deep into the afternoon there. Hamilton now making his way out of the pit lane, so we're not even going to be ahead of him. But we are going to be into some clear air as well. A little bit further behind there. Lawson, he's just sat in a bit of no man's land there. He's ahead of Alex Albon. But I think, yeah, now we're going to make the box for him to take those hard tyres to the end of the afternoon. And yeah, it's not going to be long before we bring Yuki in as well there. So for Lawson, he's kind of got himself out of trouble a little bit there. He's a pit stop, though, behind Valtteri Bottas, so it hasn't quite worked out perfectly. But yes, hopefully just kept him out of a bit of trouble. And hopefully we can try and get a nice clean pit stop as well. That should also mean, you know, he's running a little bit quicker than a lot of cars as well towards the end of the afternoon. But yeah, Hulkenberg, he's got a little bit of a gap over Yuki. Then neither of them are too far away from Lewis Hamilton as well. But ultimately, yeah, it is not going to be close enough to really, you know, get a fight on their hands unless we see those front runners make some errors later on in the afternoon. 2.7 second stop that time round. Not so perfect for Lawson. But I guess, you know, it's kind of what you've got to deal with here, as we want to try and get Yuki to about 25 laps to go then. Is Sargent actually out of the Grand Prix? So, is that mechanical issue? That's Yuki Tsunoda. Well, we're watching completely the wrong car, but yeah, Sargent even out of the race. Don't even know what we're watching. But Sargent, yeah, our first retirement from the afternoon. Lawson now, I mean, he's basically just got to try and go to the end of the day. We might not see too much drama with him. I mean, Yuki, is it worth trying to gamble to stay out a little bit longer here? I don't really know at this stage of the race. He's actually still setting pretty good lap times on those tyres. So I think we'll keep him out just a little bit further, as the hard tyres really have hung on quite tremendously in this Grand Prix. Now he's just starting to talk about pitting in. So I think what we'll do is we'll get him in next lap, so he doesn't have to deal with letting Verstappen lap him. He's got yellow flags out. Not too sure what that was all about. It was Ocon going for a spin down at turn 15. Let's take a look. Well, he's made the Charles Leclerc mistake there, so yeah, not ideal for him there. As a fresh set of the medium tyres going on for Yuki Tsunoda. Verstappen still leading this race. But where are we going to come out then relative to some of the other cars? We've got Miata just having to let cars by. This is why I want to box Tsunoda now, because we're starting to see other drivers struggling as well. Just a little bit with the lap traffic here. So this could be really, really critical then, as into the pit lane with Yuki. Hopefully we can get a nice 2.5 second stop there. And of course, he's going to be one of the quickest, well, one of the quickest of the back market cars out on track throughout the second half of this race. Nice 2.5 second pit stop as well there. So happy with that from the team. And Lawson, Yuki Tsunoda even is going to re-emerge down in P17. But he knows Albon's got to pit again. Magnussen's got to pit again. Miata might have to pit again as well. So this doesn't actually bode too badly for him unless we get a safety car immediately. As Lawson just making a bit of a mistake there as well. So once again, further knocking his confidence back late on.
Oh, and they need to be watching those track limits.
But he kept
be careful and watch the car there.
But he kept his foot to the floor there, so Lawson clearly not losing too much time in all of that as well. But yeah, Yuki Tsunoda then, he's got a 4-second gap to Alex Albon up in front. He's got a little bit of rich revs as well that we can afford to use, as Hulkenberg then actually coming back into the pit lane here. So that's quite odd from Hulkenberg. We weren't expecting that from him today. I thought he was just going to one-stop this, but he's kept a second set of the hards by the looks of things. But not able to get him on the car very quickly. There we go. Yeah, Hulkenberg not too happy. So that actually gives, Yuki a real good opportunity here to carve his way right back through and end up as best of the back markers by the end of the afternoon. As hopefully we're going to get closer to Alex Albon quite quickly. Magnussen, the second of the Haas cars, into the pits as well then. So, yeah, this is working out beautifully at the moment. We just don't want to take too much out of the tyre too quickly on in the stint, but we just want to make sure as well that Hulkenberg isn't gaining too much time. Oh, I didn't realise we actually get him on the kind of low push mode here as well. So, now if we kind of get him pushing on a bit more, he's going to get closer to Ricciardo and Albon. As you can see there again, we've used up all of the spare fuel now in the car. Gap now floating at about a second there. It just dips underneath. So hopefully only a couple more laps before we're going to be able to try and make the move work on Ricciardo and Albon. As these two still fighting just up in front. So we're going to try and go full attack then here. Try and go for the overtake. Go aggressive here. Especially if they're going to continue to trip each other up. Nope, we don't want to pit, thank you. Wrong option there. Full attack mode, Yuki. Go for the aggression. Just try to attack. Take high risk. Yeah, take high risk as well there. Don't try and drive in clear air. And maybe we can try and go for a cheeky double overtake then. Back down in towards turn 1. 20 laps to go for our race leader here. As you can see, Ricciardo trying to make the move. We're trying to make the move. 3 wide will go temporarily. Back down in towards turn 1. But past one, past the other. Yuki Tsunoda, a beautiful little double overtake. That should hopefully boost the confidence as well. He's back in the very high region. We'll leave Albon and Ricciardo to fight it behind. We'll try and immediately get out of the DRS window as well there. But that could not have worked out much better for us had we wanted it to. And now you can see as well, we just got to claw back those temperatures. Make sure that we don't run out of fuel before the end of the afternoon. But back into P13 then with Tsunoda. We'll go as Albon. Oh, Albon! He was in the wall. Hey? Alex Albon was in the wall there, but is somehow able to get going again.
We've had a crash. What happened there?
What on earth is that? How is he just able to teleport back out of it? He's dropped it in the wall, and they cut away from it before he gets back on the road. Alex Albon then, surely that is going to be front wing damage on the Williams. Can't see anything at the moment. Yeah, he's missing an end plate there. You can see left-hand side. So disaster for Albon. He's going to have to dive back into the pit lane. Yuki Tsunoda, though, we've got to be a bit careful with the battery as well. He's deployed everything that car has at its disposal here. So, Bottas next up on the road, then. Hopefully we can try and get to Miata before the end of the afternoon. But yeah, Bottas as well, I'm sure will have to pit very, very soon in this Grand Prix. So, hopefully this time around we're going to be able to utilise some overtake mode against him as well there. So, once more, just going to try and go on the aggression. Oh, it's Verstappen, yeah, reporting more mechanical issues. Could this play into Ferrari's hand by the end of the afternoon?
I'm sorry, but I cannot drive with these outfits.
Yeah, Verstappen in the wars as well in that Red Bull then. So Tsunoda now tucked up in the DRS range. So he's going to try and go for the high aggression overtake once again. Rich Revs pushing on the fuel, pushing on the overtake mode. Everything at his disposal here. And once again, Yuki Tsunoda, you can see Bottas trying to defend down the back straight. Oh, he actually tries to get the block in. You can be a little bit cheeky with that down at turn 1. Just obviously because the circuit kind of arcs around slightly to the left-hand side there. The AI as well can utilise it to the best of their ability. 6 seconds, though, up to Ritomo Miata. This has been one of Yuki's best races so far of the campaign. But we still need issues for one of the top runners if we want to try and score a point this afternoon. As Ricciardo now out of the Grand Prix as well, then. Reporting more mechanical faults.
Way to bow out of this one.
So there's definitely a bit of a bug then. Obviously, if the AI is already out of the race, they just kind of throw you onto your POV and commentate over it like it's happening. Lawson is back into P19 now, obviously, because, yeah, other cars have retired. He's still 5 seconds behind Albon, so really not looking good for Liam Lawson at this stage of the afternoon. But 15 laps to go then. Really for us, rather alarmingly. It's kind of looking like it's based on what Max Verstappen does towards the end of the afternoon there. As Miata, is he going to have to pit before the end of this? Yeah, surely. You can't go another 12 laps with those tyres in the state they're in. So hopefully we're going to see Miata dive into the pit lane quite soon. As I mean, yeah, we're about to get lapped by Lance Stroll here as well. As there we go. Back into P11 then for Yuki Tsunoda. But yeah, really for us, it is just a question of what Hamilton can do. Sorry, Verstappen can do with that wounded car here towards the end of the race. We've got a bit of a gap still over Hulkenberg and Bottas, but they are certainly closing in quite quickly towards the end of the race as well. Hulkenberg actually looking very, very racy here towards the end of the day as well there. But yeah, we just need one of the top runners. Oh, we got multiple cars crashed. Who is this? Can't see anyone slow on the road. Please say it's a front-running car. It's from Miata. Miata, they're down the inside of Zhou Guan Yu.
That was pretty risky.
Oh, there, yeah, I mean... Well, I think it was Zhou Guan Yu had a crash there at the top of the hill with TSUNODA back in 2022, wasn't it? So, just starting to see tempers flaring. Norris reporting more mechanical issues as well. But yeah, really for us, we are hoping for a miracle towards the end of this race and praying that someone, anybody, can run into trouble here. Yuki's tyres definitely starting to struggle a bit. He's got 42 seconds though. As yeah, Bottas and Miata, that incident being investigated. But I think we should be pretty safe there towards the end of the afternoon. Max Verstappen though, getting in towards the final few laps of this race. Kind of hoping there that he can... Oh! Verstappen's out! Max Verstappen's out! We're going to be into the points!
Something broke.
Again, we just watched Yuki Tsunoda, but for the first time since Albert Park, Australia, and obviously that race never ended up counting, Verstappen is out of the Grand Prix. Again, we just watched Yuki. I don't know why. But World Championship leader Verstappen running into problems with just 3 laps to go of this Grand Prix. And Yuki Tsunoda then, as he makes his way through the final couple of corners, he is, I mean, he's 2 laps down on the Dutchman, isn't he? So he's still got a little bit further to go before he can get into that fight. But you can see Yuki Tsunoda with just 1 more lap to go then. He is going to be moving up inside the top 10 of this Grand Prix. Miata now is up into 12th place as well there, but I think he's behind our race leader. And Charles Leclerc and Ferrari seemingly out of nowhere here late on in the day. We've just got to try and get to the end of this lap on the tyres, because otherwise, you know, we'll be able to do it on count back anyway here. But Charles Leclerc closing in. But 1 more lap to go for Yuki Tsunoda in this Grand Prix. And from the back of the field, what a one-stop race it has been from him. He stayed out of trouble early on. He has nursed the tyres through. And as long as Leclerc gets to the line ahead of Miata, it's not going to matter anyway. Because, of course, yeah, Miata's going to finish the race 1 lap down. But Charles Leclerc and Ferrari back on top this weekend. He is going to take the win here at the old San Marino circuit. The Imola circuit, it bears Ferrari's name. They are back on top for the first time since 2006. Let's listen in.
Leclerc takes first place.
Well, we don't get any radio messages there from Charles, but I'm sure he is absolutely ecstatic with that race result there.
They didn't earn it. They put in an amazing performance today.
Brilliant, brilliant drive by Charlie Boy, and a well-deserved win for him and Ferrari there. But for Yuki Tsunoda, he's safe. He is going to finish in P10 then, because every other car behind him is 1 extra lap down. Here he is. I mean, admittedly, he's still 1 lap down well, near enough 2 laps down on Charles Leclerc then, so it would have been 3 laps down on Verstappen here. But we got a point in Albert Park, Australia. It got robbed away from us in the preview build of the game. Liam Lawson is a disappointing end for him down in P18 when all is said and done. But Yuki Tsunoda, we've got a point on the board. That is really, really important here early on in the campaign. Hopefully, I said early on in the weekend we could try and build from that. So hopefully now, more upgrades coming in very soon. Matt212 Motorsports, we are Formula 1 point scorers.
Sometimes I think you just have to accept that it's not going to be your race.
Well, I think most people expected them to really deliver here, but it's a disappointing finish outside the points.
Out and onto the podium steps Charles Leclerc, the driver from Monaco, really deserving of that top 3 spot.
Their first win of the season, and the team looking on will be very proud, I'm sure.
Well, Formula 1 certainly feels at home in Italy, and it looks like those 3 feel right at home too. Well, Karun, how do you think they'll be feeling in the team garage at the end of that?
Well, it was a bit of a mixed bag here. Some things went their way, but others didn't. I think their main target now will be finding some consistency for sure.
And that's about it for our time here in Imola.
For the next Grand Prix, make sure you join us at the renowned city circuit of Monaco. Prepare yourselves for one of the most legendary rounds of the season.
Well, we return to Imola, and for the first time ever, we get some points on the board. And it wasn't that, Yuki Tsunoda got a bit lucky with the safety car or anything like that. He came from the back of the field to get into the top 10 there by the end of the afternoon. Yes, we were lucky that Verstappen obviously retired from that Grand Prix, but ultimately, I do not care one bit. 12 places gained. For me, he has got to be driver of the day there. Charles Leclerc, certainly a close second as well. From 5th on the grid, he will claim Ferrari's first win of the campaign there. Lando Norris' fastest lap means he picks up a few points as well, but that certainly means things are looking very, very interesting in the championship table. Verstappen still leading the way. Lando Norris not able to fully capitalise in the end there, but Charles Leclerc up into P3 ahead of Piastri and Carlos Sainz there, with Perez all the way down in P6. Tsunoda, with that result, he will move up into 12th place as well, now ahead of Kevin Magnussen by virtue of count back there, but really now, we want to be trying to chase down Daniel Ricciardo in that 11th place there. And of course, constructors-wise as well, a big result for us means we're back ahead of Haas. I feel like we've delivered better than them so far this campaign, but again, we want to try and get to V-Carb before the end of the year there. Constructors-wise, pit stop challenge-wise even, we got P7 and P8 again, so we've done really, really well actually recently to be picking up double points hauls in the DHL Fastest Pit Stop Award, and that means we're still in 8th place overall, but 5 points back behind Williams there as McLaren lead that title by just 8 points over Red Bull. You can see, 2.556 followed by 2.558. Really, really happy with the way the team have done there this weekend. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed. Really happy that we finally got a weekend that fell our way this time out. And hopefully as we return next time out to the duel in the Formula 1 crown at Monaco, we can try and get some more points on the board.